Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakha Kodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. And this guy Biden, now we can see the new thing that's going on is this gun, violence. A lot of mass shootings, right? Which, apparently people just get up nowadays and just go out and just start firing off. And, there's different things that definitely don't add up. However, that's another lesson for another time. But there's an article here because I believe yesterday he gave a speech on, the Second Amendment, the right to bear arms or so. And basically the way he's talking is in the sense that that doesn't come over protecting lives, right, as they like to put it. And I remember that maybe not too long ago, he came out and said that Congress has to take care of that because he can't dictate that kind of stuff. Which, when he first said that, it stuck in my mind because we know that in reality it's the opposite that they want. So, now to see how they're setting it up to where now it's like, oh, Congress got to pass this, yada, yada, yada. Now it could be to where they're like, well, if they don't want to do it, then he might need to use executive action, or an executive order to impose something. Okay. And it reminds me of this exercise they had back in 2015. All right. Called Jade Helm 2015. All right. Jade Helm HELM 2015. And when you type that in YouTube, now I'll see if I can find a video, all right, of it, and I'll put that in the description box so you can go and check it out. But in there were some scenes where you could see them going into there was troops going into people's houses and taking their guns. Okay, confiscating their guns, asking, do you have any guns in here? Then they go in there and take it up, whether you're old or young, it don't matter. Now, this is from RT News, and it says, Biden challenges Congress on guns. And one thing that we know about guns is, especially these Edomites, you have a lot of these Edomites that they are ready to start a civil war, then to give that up. Okay? And that goes further than just the average individual. It goes up to even the levels of different offices in the government. Okay? So there's even more of a divide coming up. All right, but this time involving guns. There was a video that the elder brother Karataza had put up, and it was a compilation of different Edomites holding their guns and talking about, they say like, well, we love, the army, military, yada yada. You guys are cool, but if you turn your back on the Constitution, you're dead to us, and it's pretty much over for you at that point. So that's going to be an interesting thing for them to try, and because he wants to have a ban on assault rifles, and a lot of them have assault rifles and they love their rifles. So now, say you have a ban on it, right? Whether Congress passes it, which it doesn't look like it, or he goes around and uses some executive power to try and impose something of that sort. The interesting thing at that point would be, now, how do you go and get those guns out of the hands of these people that have them? So it says, lawmakers obstructing common sense reforms should be wiped out at the ballot box, the president said. And really what he's trying to do is use this as a pivoting point. Knowing that the midterm elections are coming up, he wants to use this as to demonize, all right, the other party. Not that, there's really any big thing going on, because behind the scenes is two birds on two feathers on the same bird. Okay, but he wants to utilize this to, as you can see, notice he mentioned the ballot box, right? because now we're nearing that time. So you got to start pushing that ideal in there. Now, people got to open up their eyes and remember that this is the same guy who came and, so I don't know how, but swayed you, right, to vote for him into presidency, because if you didn't, this was going to happen and this was going to, and look at this nigga. And yet I'm sure people are still going to be, oh, yes, you know, I hate him. His ratings are going low, but he got a point. So it says the U.S. government can no longer do nothing about gun violence in the country. Now, one thing that I find interesting is, how is it that when he comes and he starts to call for gun violence and gun control measures, then all of a sudden people just get up, like it's like a trigger in their minds. Like they get up, and, you know what, I ain't never been here before, but fuck it, I want to go shoot it. I mean, who does that? How does that make sense? I don't know. I just felt like shooting up some kids. What? Who does that? Who just gets up and does that? And they know that normal people don't just get up and do, not even gangs and niggas. But yet they'll that's why they'll throw in that mental health. Oh, he's mentally unwell. Oh, he had a grudge against his middle school teacher, and all right. And they just so happen to fit that pattern of mass shootings, and just the reason you need to be able to push your agenda. But let's keep going. So it says President Joe Biden said in a speech on Thursday, citing the latest mass shootings, he proposed a number of gun control reforms and said voters will not forgive members of Congress who try to derail them. The president cited data from the CDC, the Center DCP, all right, which said guns are now the biggest killer of children in America. Slaki, I paused for a second, trying to figure out how does disease and control involve guns. Why is the CDC and why are they reporting on guns? Shouldn't they be focused on diseases? Shit, man. It says so apparently, according to them, they're the experts now, which said guns are now the biggest killer of children in America, worse than car accidents and cancer. He mentioned several recent high-profile mass shootings, including the racial attack at a grocery store in Buffalo, New York, the gun rampage at Robb Elementary in Uvalde, if I'm saying that right, Uvalde, Texas, and the attack at St. Francis Hospital in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Yeah, because those are convenient enough to happen back to back to back, to where now they're perfect for reference. It says rampant gun violence is turning the schools and streets into killing fields, Biden said. Well, that's what's going to happen regardless. All right, well, all hell's about to break loose. It says implementing some controls at this point is a matter of conscience and common sense, he added. This isn't about taking away anyone's rights. It's about protecting children. It's about protecting families. It's about protecting whole communities. But I mean, this is the same. Hold on a second. Let's think about this, right? Honestly, I don't care either way. But when you look at the actions he has taken, how do those reflect him protecting families? I mean, this inflation is killing people, and in terms of their jobs and them being able to afford things, and that's making it hard for them to live. That's not protecting families. All right, but you got billions of dollars to send over as aid to, overseas for whatever reason, okay? Anyway, it says Biden wants to reinstate a federal ban on assault rifles and high-capacity magazines along the lines of the 1994 law that he sponsored, and which expired 10 years after passage. Now, once again, these Edomites, right, who are they're not trying to hear that at all. So it's going to be, the divide is already there. It's going to be one versus another, as the scriptures say. See, you're going to have racial tensions, racial wars, but you're also going to have civil wars. You're going to have a divide for different reasons, different standings. All right. It says here, if assault weapons cannot be banned, he said, then the age limit to purchase them should be raised from 18 to 21. But you know what's going to happen then? They're going to raise it from 18 to 21, and then there's going to be even more shootings. And they're going to say, see, that's not enough. Just ban the assault. Okay? It says, as he argued for a ban, he described the damage done by these types of weapons during the, hold on a second. Let's just get this right.
Uvalde.
Uvalde. Okay. That's the name of the place in Texas. So during the Uvalde shooting, saying that it was so massive that parents had to do DNA swabs to identify the remains of their children. And you already know that one of the hardest the strings to pull on is pathos, which is the emotions. Now, when you hear, oh, mass shooting happened, this many people died, it's like, damn. But then when you hear mass shooting happened, this many children died, that's how you're gonna spark them people. All right. It says the president wants to strengthen laws regarding the safe storage of firearms and personal liability for not locking guns up. He also wants to strip the gun industry of its immunity from liability for damage caused by its products. Okay. Now I'm going to jump down here and see it says here, this time we have to take the time to do something. And this time it's time for the Senate to do something, he said, referring to the need to overcome the filibuster in the evenly split Senate to pass legislation. The fact that the majority of the Senate Republicans don't want any of these proposals even to be debated or come up for a vote, I find unconscionable, he said. Not passing any reforms would be a failure, Biden argued, while claiming that most Americans want tighter controls. Now, when you go into a part of their documents, a part of their plan is to disarm the American population, because that way when they come with their martial law and they come with their their invasion, right, their takeover, the resistance ain't gonna be there. What you gonna resist with? Okay. Now it says here, if Congress fails, I believe this time a majority of the American people won't give up either. I believe the majority of you will act to turn your outrage into making this issue central to your vote. There you go. So you see how he's making it political? You know, he's trying to politicize it because that can help them, all right, in that midterm election. And that now, conveniently enough, this happens around this time. But anyway, I want to get a quick precept. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 19, verse 2. It says, and I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother. Now, the Egyptians in Isaiah 19 are referring to Egypt. Here will be referring to Babylon, all right, aka America. So the Egyptians will be those living here, the Americans, okay, these Babylonians. And it says, I will set them against, right? I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, meaning the Lord is going to have it to where certain events are going to happen, certain proposals are going to come up that's going to cause that divide, all right, as they call it, a civil war. And they shall fight everyone against his brother and everyone against his neighbor, city against city and kingdom against kingdom. And why is that? Because there's going to be such a great division. One is going to say, nope, I ain't doing it. One is going to say, nope, you got to do it. And then, all right, come make me then. And it's going to be a back and forth, all right, just like that. Because there's a great divide in this country. And that's done, strategically by Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. This is 2 Ezra 15 and 15. It says, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another. So Democrats and Republicans, that's one people against another. Edomites with their guns versus others that say, no, we got to take that away. That's one people against another. But now it says, and swords in their hands. Swords are modern day weapons. So when they stand to fight against another, they're gonna be fighting with weapons in their hands. All right, whether it's guns or handheld, non-fireable weapons, like bats and knives and stuff like that. Okay, they're gonna have that. And verse 16 says what? For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes. So whatever Biden got to say, and Kamala Harris and all these people, they're not gonna give a damn what they got to say, and they're not gonna follow what these guys are saying. And the course of their actions shall stand in their power. So you got some that are going to view this as a violation or possible infringement of the Constitution, and some that are going to say, no, our kids' lives matter. I wouldn't be surprised if they get on the streets talking about child lives matter or kids' lives matter or something like that. And that's going to be a conflict right there. So this guy is definitely, the Lord is having this guy just turn this place all around, man. He's stirring up. Okay, the Lord is using him to stir up things here. All right, and that's a beautiful thing, because that'll lead to these prophecies being fulfilled. So anyway, with that, I'm going to end it here. Lord willing, that was edifying to the elect. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakah Kodash. Until next time, Shalom.